Well, good morning, everybody. This is Dear Mama Sal on a very typical Vancouver late winter day. It's raining, but you know, it's not driving rain like I remember in Africa. It's sort of not, I think we used to call it drizzle in England. Yeah, it's you can walk from point A to point B without drowning. It's just not serious. I'm thinking about let me do it on a windshield wiper gauge. I think let me have a look here. Okay. The first level of my windshield wipers contains it. That'll give you an idea. All right, so, but socked in. And yes, I am wearing my coat today. Yeah, it looks like it's here for the day. It doesn't look like it's going to be a little bit of drizzle and then the sun's going to break through. So it's going to be, a little damp today. It's a wonderful 7 degrees. Nothing wrong with that. Which some of you probably already know by now is 44 in American. I just love this little bit of road because there are such pretty blossoms. Oh, shush now. There's such pretty blossoms either side of me. It's wonderful. I had to laugh last night because I really do realize that my life revolves around Dear Mama Sal in quite significant ways. You know, I sort of have to smile. I did some things when I got home last night that I don't normally do, and by the time I sat down to get the vlog edited, it was, getting pretty late already, and it makes you realize that the routine works really well. If I'm going to get a vlog up by 9 o'clock, I have to start the moment that I get home from work, sort of thing. So, and not doing so completely messed up my timing for the evening. But it was quite amusing. By the way, routine really does, I think, save you in some ways. For example, this morning, I did all my usual routine when I got in the car. And I was literally starting to back out of my driveway where I thought, no, something's wrong here. You know, there was something wrong with the routine. Something I had missed out on and I didn't know what it was. And then I looked and I went, camera. And for some reason I'd forgotten to put my camera in. So, and the only thing that warned me about that was the routine. There was something missing in the routine. You know, you sort of get in the car, you put on your seatbelt, well, actually, I turn on my car before I put on my seatbelt. What about you? Ah, that's interesting. I get in the car, turn it on, put on my seatbelt, put the camera up. Yep. Anyway, so that's interesting. I always like those sort of things, you know. What order do you get dressed in? I think we've all got our little routines about that. So I was very grateful for the routine because I think I would have clean forgotten. Now, luckily, my cell phone has a good enough camera on it. It was one of my have-tos when I picked my phone. It has to have a decent enough camera to be able to do a high-quality vlog if I needed it to. The other thing I want to warn you about is I have a feeling that my camera is full, or getting very full, so I might have to switch cameras in doing this halfway through, and or just have a shorter vlog today. We'll see how it works. I was really delighted that my talk yesterday about the silent pain, the pain of having an illness that nobody can see, pleased the person who asked me to talk about it. Now, there, as we know, all sorts of different ways that we need to look at this. There are all sorts of different pains that we suffer from, and some of it's physical pain and some of it's mental. And I am well aware of both. I've been in both in my time. And I'm not sure which one affected me the most. The only thing that I have about the mental pain is now that I have found a way up and out of it, I do need to say, and I know that some people will get angry with me for this, but I do need to say that it is my experience that the pills alone do not get you out of a depression. To get out of a depression, and that's mental pain for sure, to get out of depression, you have to do your way out. You know, and it doesn't matter whether you do workshops to find out about why you're beating up on yourself, because, as you know, I'm a great believer that depression is anger turned inwards in my reality. Angry that the world doesn't do things my way. Well, you know, it's never going to do it my way, is it? As much as I would like it to. To have to give up being ruler of the universe was a major problem for me. I quite enjoyed that job where I really thought I had control over people. Those were the days. Yeah. And the worst thing was, you know, I was quite well known at the time, you know, so everything played to that as well, you know. When you walk in and you've got standing ovations and people adoring you left, right and center, you know, you sort of get feeling quite important. And I guess that's why now, if I go and do a meet and greet with Benji and Judy or something, I really don't need to be on stage, you know. Been there, done that. I mean, I will. I mean, last time I know they insisted that I go on stage with them, and I actually refused. I stayed at the back of the room. So I now, you know, if Dear Mama Sal becomes much more popular, I really have to look at what do I want this to bring me. And it certainly isn't stress. But it is definitely lots of fun and lots of love. So I have to look at, I'm already very, very grateful for what Dear Mama Sal has brought me. It's brought me the ability to be able to help way more people than I ever dreamt possible. But also it's brought me in touch with some really nice people, some really good people. And it's nice to know that there are really good people in the world. And it's nice to know that we as a group of good people, you know, can help people. And I don't necessarily mean by throwing money at them, I mean by supporting them when they're going through a tough time. That's all I ever wanted. So I really would like, if you haven't already, I really would like those of you who are fans of Dear Mama Sal to go and see the dearmamasal.com page. And if you haven't already, and just let me know what you think of the new setup on it, and particularly the right-hand side. We've tried to sort of really do a number on that. And one of the things that I really love, but then I'm one of those sort of people, is we've put back the map that shows you where people have visited from. Now at the moment there aren't that many dots on it because we've only just put it up again. But it's wonderful to know that in the last 48 hours somebody popped in from Brazil. So hi, or hola from Brazil. It's really nice that you came to visit. Or how about two from China? Now that does surprise me. And it actually reminds me of the days when I started Dear Mama Sal and I had the first viewers. You know, and I used to watch a map, because in those days Google let you have a map of where your viewers were from. Today it tells you in numbers, but it doesn't give you the map like it used to. But anyway, so I remember watching the map and going, oh, I've got a viewer from Africa. You know, one, I was so excited. Or I have one from Russia. And it really was so exciting. So I'm starting to feel that same excitement again as I watch the map. So those of you who like, the kid in you likes those sort of things, you know, like mine does. You know, just it's right at the beginning. It actually says who's online today, and then where are they from, I think. And you can if the map gets too busy, which it's going to, if the map gets too busy, you can then filter down. You can actually ask it to show you a map, for example, of just Midwest America. I mean, it depends what you want to look at, or just Europe. I didn't see one of just England. Maybe it's there. I have to look again. Anyway, so, you know, just Europe or just wherever. So I thought that would be a fun thing to add back in again. I've also put in, as you may have noticed, a calendar of things that I'm going to be doing. Now that's very positive thinking, because that sort of indicates that maybe I will be doing things. And that goes to something that I learned about achieving goals. Whatever your goal is, always act as if you are going to achieve the goal. So when I think about what do I need on my webpage, if we grow twice as big as we are today, well, what are the chances that I'll be traveling a bit more? What will be the chances that I will be meeting a few more people? So the very first thing that I needed was to be able to let you know where I was going to be. And at the moment we obviously have two things on there. One is the Vegas trip, which is coming up very fast. And the other is the trip down to VidCon, which is very, very exciting. Now, they might be the only two trips I do this year, but who knows? One can always think positively, right? So that was one thing that I wanted. Now, the other thing we're looking at now is to put in a proper birthday calendar. That was something I would really like. But we're just looking in to see what sort of widgets we can get. And by the way, I really wanted to thank, as usual, really wanted to thank Sophie for some input that she gave me yesterday. You know, Sophie's one of those backroom workers in my world. When I say a backroom worker, you know, she's busy in her own life, but she always spends time helping me with Dear Mama Sal. You know, she comes up with those beautiful photographs, most of the beautiful photographs that we've been using, and also the helping me on Instagram and Pinterest. But I also had a quick discussion with her via email yesterday about the web design, and she came up with some really good pointers. And because of that, the person who's been helping me managed to do something that really was what I wanted, and I didn't know was possible. So yay, I was very happy, very excited. And it takes hours to do these things, and I'm so appreciative of my able helper. So, having said that, think about the goals that you want to set for this year. You know, maybe it is get yourself out of depression. So what sort of actions would a healthy person do? Well, a healthy person gets out of the house. That was the first thing I had to learn. A healthy person actually leaves the house. You know, if you want to get over depression, it's a really good thing to get out of the house. Leslie will tell you that. Isolating yourself away from people is not the answer. You actually have to get back and get in touch with people. Now, I know at the moment I've got another viewer who suffers from agoraphobia, or some version of it, and it really is affecting that person's life. And so I encourage you all to have a look at your life. And, you know, time and time again, I have quoted Faith Popcorn, who 20, 30 years ago came out with something called the Popcorn Report. And I just remember it so well, because she said, you know, within the next couple of decades, we're going to isolate ourselves, and it's going to have a serious effect on our mental health. I always remember that, and I remember thinking, what does she mean, isolate yourself? You know, at the time, you know, I was going partying regularly, you know, and the idea that you wouldn't be going partying regularly, you know, sort of, I don't know about any of you, but, you know, that was, you know, yeah, I did a lot of that. And I really have to say that I did it well. So, you know, I couldn't imagine a life without a couple of parties each weekend at least. I couldn't imagine a life without getting pretty drunk as well, now that I think about it. So I think of all the things that I used to do, and I really listened to Faith Popcorn at the time, because I was always listening to that sort of stuff, and I'm going, really? You don't know what you're talking about, lady. And I look at the world today and I go, yes, she did. Look at how isolated we are making ourselves. And we are choosing to have friends online rather than go out and meet them in real life. Now, I'm not saying that we don't have friends in real life, but you know, I have as many friends online today as I do in real life. How about you? And as we found out last week, you can be sorely disappointed with as many friends online as you can in real life. You know, when we got this issue happened last week with the broadcast. So, you know, and it's very real. But it is what it is. And so the good news is that as we sort of take each day, you've got to look at what you can put into it, not what somebody else can put into it. Don't wait for somebody else to make you happier today. One of my viewers just got shipped back into hospital yesterday, and I wish you lots of peace and strength on that one. I know that you listen, you're a faithful listener, and I just wanted to give you a mental hug and to tell you that I was so sad to hear that you were shipped back into hospital, but I know you well enough to know you're a real fighter. So let me know when you get back out again, and when you know you start to feel that you're on the better side of this. And so we all have our little things that happen to us on a daily basis. For some of us, it's as simple as a rainy day. And I could look at this rainy day and go, oh my goodness, it's raining. Yeah, I could ruin my day just by the attitude. Or I could go, oh, look at that, it's raining. Yay, the plants will love it. Yay, it's not snowing. It's a big thing in my life, it's not snowing. And rain is part of life.